welcome to Universal Law Snippets. Today we are moving on with the law of compensation and energy leaks. Okay, so a long time ago, I learned that the law of compensation was also referred to as the law of sowing and reaping, which to me makes a lot more sense because these days people associate compensation with money exchange, but sowing and reaping really kind of gives this overall view of, oh yes, it's energy that we are putting out there and we are harvesting at some point, which is the perfect time of year for this, right? We are moving into the harvest season. So I wanted to put that in your mind before we moved further. Law of compensation, law of sowing and reaping. So today I want to talk about invisible energy leaks. Okay. So a lot of times we as humans, especially in this day and age where we are so distracted, so easily moving our attention from one thing to another, it's really easy to have what I call little energetic leaks seeping out of us and pulling our attention away. And this kind of really goes into looking at where our energy is heading and if we are moving forward with all of our energy intact so that we can really be committed in our goals or how we are moving forward in life, the actions that we are taking, and so on and so forth. So here's how I visualize the law of compensation, okay? I had this visual several years ago and it has always stuck with me. I was somehow in meditation and I was sitting at the top of a pyramid and I was looking out over the horizon and I could see the energy coming out of my body, going out into the world, swirling around in like half of a figure eight and then coming back right through my body and then going out the backside and swirling around there, kind of like an infinity symbol with everything that's going out there. Okay. And that's an ideal image of how we want our energy kind of flowing out into the world and into the universe, right? We want to have a nice, very consistent and strong stream of energy moving out there so that we can pull in all of this stuff. Our energy is going out and it's attracting all of these beautiful things and then coming right back out to us and then going out again and then pulling in other things and coming back and then just constantly moving in this figure eight pattern. Well, right now we are living, and I'm sure humanity has always been like this, but it feels very prevalent now with all of the technology and the constant news sources and just everything that's going on so much in our life. It's very easy for us as humans to have what I call little invisible energy leaks. Now, what is an energy leak? An energy leak is when you are trying to focus on something but your mind kind of wanders to something else. Or you are doing something, but your whole heart is not in it, and you are doing something else. You're multitasking. So maybe you are watching television. I'm very guilty of this, especially when I'm all by myself. I will be watching television. I will be watching a show on Netflix, and I will just very unwillingly and not having no idea that I'm even doing it, just pick up my phone and just start scrolling. I'm trying to watch television. I'm somewhat interested in the program, but there is something that is inside me that just decides to pick up my phone and just start scrolling, which is terrible, right? Like, I don't even know why I do it. It's very difficult. Or I will be sitting out on my in the morning drinking coffee with my husband, and I will be watching the view from outside my window or on the deck, and all of a sudden my phone is screaming at me and I'll pick it up and do it again. Or maybe it's not even my phone. Maybe I am sitting there listening to my kids tell me about their day, or they're trying to talk to me about something and I am thinking about what I need to get at the grocery store. Or maybe I am cooking food and I am listening to a podcast. There's so many things that pull our energy away that it's hard to even sometimes it's so hard to even recognize them, right? And I think that we live in this world of multitasking is good. Make sure that you move all your energy around, get as much stuff done as you can. We live in this constant state of busyness. And when we are living in this state of busyness, we have a really hard time committing our energy to one goal that we want to do moving forward. And we can't really commit all of our energy to one area because we're just like constantly thinking about something else. And I think that a lot of people are like this. I think sometimes it's more common in probably moms out there or parents in general, because you always have about 1,000 things going on, right? It's very, very easy to do. And it really makes me think of the analogy of sometimes when I'm doing these things, I'm like, am I being a bee where I am actually being productive and trying to get things done and focusing on one task and moving it to completion? Or am I being a little mosquito and then just like dropping down and like sucking a little bit of energy out of this and sucking a little bit of energy out of this? And it's not helpful. Okay. So when we are thinking about the law of compensation, we are talking about what are we putting our energy towards so that we can pull what we want back in. And if we are scattering our energy through all of these little invisible energetic leaks out into the world, then we cannot pull in what we want. And we are moving forward in this kind of very disjointed way and putting our energy out there. So think of your energy going outside of you in this beautiful infinity or figure eight way, and then you have all these little spider webs. I'm sorry, I just dropped something on my desk. You have all these little spider webs of energy just like moving off into the distance, and it's going to fragment what you are trying to pull in. So when in the past I've like, multitasking, you shouldn't do that. Habit stacking might be a good way to do this instead. Not more than like 3, but if you are trying to build up good ways of like moving forward and being, intentional with your energy, I think stacking 1 or 2 habits together is really very helpful, right? Like maybe you listen to an audiobook just while you put away the dishes in the dishwasher, or maybe you do your workout while you watch that show on Netflix. But if you habit stack more than just 2 things, I think it does like tend to fragment our energy as it's going out into the world. But ideally, we want to put out as a concentrated energy out moving forward as we can so that we can, get it out there and bring in what we want, right? So that's your universal law snippet for this week. The law of sowing and reaping. Look around you this week and just say like, okay, what is pulling my energy off from the side of what I am doing right now? If I am doing the dishes, yes, sometimes it's not fun to do the dishes, but can I be more mindful in doing the dishes instead of distracting myself with an audiobook? This is me talking directly to myself right now. Or can I fold this laundry for 10 minutes instead of, listening to that podcast that has been piling up? I think that if we can just start very, very small of like, okay, for this 5 minutes, I am just going to completely focus on my task. I do think that maybe, it's one of these things that we are so used to multitasking and distracting ourselves. And there's just so much information to go on. It's really a matter of like being a little bit more intentional in small little snippets so that we can see how far we can move forward. And just as an experiment, try it for a week and see how you feel. Just set your timer for 10 minutes while you're doing the dishes and say, I can do this mindfully for 10 minutes. And then just see how you feel, right? That's what I'm planning on doing this week. I always have a nice long to manifest list. And I'm always like, okay, what are the 2 things that I can knock out at once so that I can go and do something that would be a little bit more fun? But I'm going to try to be more intentional about it. I'm not going to try to be. I am going to be, okay? I'm just going to channel my inner Yoda and do or do not. There is no try. I am going to be more intentional this week and try to pull in my energy from those little microscopic leaks that are going out there so I can be a little bit more committed towards my goals moving forward this week. So that is your universal law snippet for this week. Law of compensation, or law of sowing and reaping, and energetic leaks. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. Sometime, let me know, and I will catch you later.